You know the feeling. The package you've been obsessively tracking finally shows up, and it's broken. Today, we're cracking open a powerful system designed to fix these exact frustrations, a method that takes the chaos of online shopping and pushes it towards near perfection.
Of course you have. We all have. It's that sinking feeling, right? When you open a box and just hear the rattle of shattered pieces, or you're endlessly refreshing the tracking for a package that was supposed to be here yesterday. But here's the thing. These aren't just random unlucky accidents. They're symptoms of a broken process. So, to fix a problem, you first have to face it. You have to understand it. And believe me, businesses are tracking every single thing that goes wrong. It turns out most of these issues fall into some very clear and very frustrating categories. And here they are, the 6 big headaches. I mean, from the second you click buy to the moment you open the box, there are so many landmines. You've got stuff showing up damaged or late. Then there's the whole downward spiral of complaints, cancellations, and returns. And that's not even counting the website crashing right when you enter your credit card info. These are the enemies we're targeting. Okay, so faced with this absolute mess, what's a company supposed to do? Just to hire more people to answer angry emails and hope for the best? Nope. The smart ones go on a quest for perfection, and they come armed with a powerful methodology designed for exactly this kind of fight. Now, this solution isn't about guesswork or just having a hunch. It is a rigorous, data-driven philosophy called Six Sigma. Think of it less like a magic wand and more like a detective's toolkit, designed to find the clues and eliminate the problem at its very source. At its heart, Six Sigma is all about discipline. It's about using stats and cold, hard data to look at any process, and I mean any process, to figure out where the cracks are, where the defects are coming from, and then systematically sealing them up for good. So, what's the goal here? Well, this is where it gets kind of mind-blowing. Reaching Six Sigma quality means your process is so perfectly tuned that you have only 3.4 defects for every 1 million chances. Let that sink in. Not 34, not 340, 3.4. That's 99.99966% perfect. It's an insanely high standard because when you're dealing with millions of orders, even a tiny error rate means thousands of unhappy customers. So how on earth do you get to that level of quality? Well, you don't just wing it. Six Sigma gives you a clear 5-step roadmap for improvement. It's called the DMAIC cycle, and it is the engine that drives this entire philosophy. DMAIC, it stands for define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. The best way to think about it is like a 5-act detective story. First, you define the crime you're trying to solve. Then, you measure the scene, gathering all the data. After that, you analyze the evidence to find the real root cause. Then, and only then, do you improve the process to stop the culprit, and finally, control the situation to make sure it never happens again.
All right, that's enough theory. Let's put this DMAC roadmap to the test. We're going to apply it directly to those e-commerce headaches we talked about and see exactly how a company would use it to solve a real-world problem.
So step 1, we define the project. The goal, improve customer happiness by cutting down on all these failures. Step 2, we measure. But instead of trying to fix all 6 problems at once, which would be chaos, we use data to find the biggest offender, the one causing the most damage. And this chart shows a really clever way they do it. It's called pairwise ranking. Basically, you make each problem go head-to-head with every other problem. And just look at the results for problem A, delivery defect. It won every single matchup. The data doesn't lie. We have our #1 target. Okay, so we've identified our main villain, delivery defects. But just knowing what the problem is, well, that's not enough. To actually solve it for good, we have to dig deeper. We need to find out why it's happening in the first place. And that brings us to the crucial 3rd step, analyze. The go-to tool here is called a cause and effect diagram. You might have heard it called a fishbone diagram. And it's a brilliant way to brainstorm and organize every single potential cause for a problem. So for example, one bone of the diagram could be methods, the actual processes being used. The investigation might find that vendors are using cheap packaging, or maybe they're not putting fragile stickers on the boxes, or they're using boxes that are way too big. Each one of these is a potential culprit. Then you look at another bone, like manpower, the human element. And here, maybe the analysis shows that the delivery partner is just tossing boxes around or that the crew was never trained on how to handle delicate stuff. Or maybe they're just rushed and cutting corners. See, we're getting closer and closer to the real source of the problem. So once you've analyzed all the clues and you've found the real culprits, you move to the final 2 steps. First, you improve. And this isn't about some quick, flimsy patch. This is about real solutions, like creating brand new packaging rules for all vendors. And then you control. This is where you build a new system with checks and balances to make absolutely sure the problem doesn't creep back in a month later.
And when you put it side by side, the difference is just night and day. The old way is just guessing, putting a bandage on it, and then acting surprised when the same problem happens again. The Six Sigma way uses data, builds a standard operating procedure, an SOP, so everyone does it the right way every time. And it creates a reaction plan just in case things start to go off the rails. It's about being proactive, not reactive.
So we've seen how this whole process can fix a broken delivery. But honestly, the impact of thinking this way goes so far beyond just your online shopping cart. It can completely transform how a business works from the inside out.
The payoff is absolutely massive. Yeah, service quality goes up, which means happier customers. But internally, it means less waste, which cuts costs and makes the company more profitable. And maybe most importantly, it changes the culture. It stops being about blaming people and starts being about everyone working together to fix the process. It is a win for everybody. This quote from the source material really just nails the whole philosophy. Making big decisions based on a gut feeling without any real data to back you up, it's just not an acceptable way to get better. The evidence, the data, that's what lights the way forward.
And that kind of leaves us with one last big question. We've just walked through how this structured, data-driven thinking can fix something as massive and chaotic as global e-commerce. So, if it can solve that, what other complex, messy problems in our jobs or even in our own lives could it help us finally untangle?